All right, welcome to the Normal Community JV girls action. We have 40 seconds left on the clock. Tie ball game, 41-41 in the fourth quarter. O'Fallon with the cutting bucket. That one is off. Normal Community basketball.
Taylor Williams got her hands in there. Taylor Williams is someone that I'm really excited to see. She hit a 3 to tie the game earlier. I'm assuming she's going to be on varsity next year and going to have a lot of experience, just a sophomore right now.
Yeah, and there's a lot of seniors on that varsity team, so you'll have a lot of new faces. That's one to definitely expect. It is actually O'Fallon basketball. I think a foul or a timeout might have been called right before the ball came into Community's possession. We're down to 28 seconds left in this JV game. A very exciting start to today's action for the girls.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about is a little bit O'Fallon jerseys are kind of cool. They have some circles on there, some of the jerseys.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think they have about 7 players rostered. 5 of the jerseys are the same, and then there's 2 jerseys that are kind of like throwback Warriors jerseys with the circle on there. If you're looking out, you might be able to see the slight differences on the jerseys, something you don't usually see, but it's pretty cool. All right, and now the inbound for O'Fallon. The Panthers get that one in, and it's going to be a drive to the basket. Nearly falls. That's going to be Normal Community basketball. We now have 20 seconds left on the clock. Being brought up with 15 seconds left. That's going to be timeout Ironmen. 16 on the clock. Tie ball game. What do you want to see on this possession for the Ironmen to get a good look and take the lead? Do you want them to hold it out for the last second?
I think that would be best in this game. I mean, I'm not really sure. O'Fallon is a very small kind of team. I think if we do go into overtime, this would be a thing where we kind of have the advantage. You know, their players probably have had to play a lot of minutes, so that could work. But obviously, I haven't seen a bunch of what this JV team can do. I've seen some people who can score, though. I've seen some people who can get in there, especially Taylor Williams. When I see her, she can dribble the ball, she can handle the ball. So maybe we'll see. But I want to hold it.
Yeah, I think holding it is a great idea, but there's also a different aspect of, in these JV games, you don't have as much experience with these clutch shots. There's not a lot of times where it is tied with 16 seconds. That last possession matters so much. So I think for the Ironmen, you want to hold it off, but first and foremost, you're just looking for the best look, the most open shot you can get. They've had momentum, so I think as long as they can find their shot like they've done in the last possessions with that 3 with just about a minute left, that open corner 3, just find whatever works best. And here's the inbound for the Iron. They get that one in back to the backcourt, and that is number 20 bringing that up, Lillian Witzig, daughter of Dave Witzig, the head basketball coach for the boys. We're at 5 seconds, 4, 3. It's a drive by Witzig, no good. That's going to be an O'Fallon rebound, and a deep shot that is a little short. We are heading to overtime in the game right before the varsity matchup between the O'Fallon Panthers and the Normal Community Ironmen. This is the first game in, I guess, what's turned out to be kind of a little bit of a doubleheader.
Yeah, I mean, we see both varsity teams kind of hanging out here looking. Of course, the assistant coaches of the varsity team, Michael Mace, is the head coach of this junior varsity squad. Also interesting, we have a ton of people on our JV squad. There's kind of a lot of overlap. Both teams are very supportive of each other. So we see Community's varsity squad getting up here, kind of looking like they're ready to cheer this junior varsity team on with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. They were all standing kind of anticipating their game as they usually do, and now that it's gone to overtime, they sit in the bench where they always are as they're watching the game. They usually watch about the first half, then go into the locker room to prepare for their game, but now you have that added bench behind you being able to cheer you on. I think that's going to be a big difference for the Iron here today. O'Fallon's bringing that one up, number 1 with the ball. Great defense from the Ironmen all over it. And there's a steal. That was number 12, Sophia Mack, with the steal, gets that one into
Open inside.
Oliver, who knocks it down. That was Annalise Oliver, the freshman, 5'10" forward, making that one to give the Ironmen their first lead in quite a bit. The Iron were trailing by about 5 late in the fourth quarter, and they were able to come back, push it to overtime. That's out of bounds, O'Fallon, and Community is rolling. The momentum has really changed here at Normal Community.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of cheering from the varsity squad. Seems like there's some momentum getting built.
And you love to see that. Witzig's got it. She's got great handles, as she's already showcased today. She's going to get that one in to Taylor Williams. Williams on the drive, and there's going to be a foul on O'Fallon. That foul is on the floor. Talking a lot about Taylor Williams. She knocked down that huge three when the Ironmen were down 48-41 with just about a minute left. Here she is at the free throw line to try to push this to a couple possession game. These are big free throws. That first one is up, and a perfect shot from Williams to give the Iron now a 3-point lead. We haven't seen a lot of three-point shooting from O'Fallon. We've seen a lot of drives from them, so this is becoming a more comfortable lead. Here's the second shot. Just rims in and out, and that's going to be an over-the-back foul on Community. Annalise Oliver, who had that nice layup earlier. She is just a freshman, and I would not be surprised if we see her in some varsity minutes, playing this game in overtime, getting those first overtime minutes. I assume she started in the contest. Great player, and just that layup just missed there. That'll be O'Fallon basketball.
Yeah, when you talk about Annalise Oliver, of course, us as seniors, we're not going to be able to see the future of this program right up close. But of course, I hope to kind of see what these players do as they evolve.
Yeah, because you're going to Missouri as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Mizzou Tigers.
We'll be back for winter break, maybe catch a couple games. That'd be fun. There's a timeout with under 3 minutes. It's a little different in high school. 4-minute overtimes, 8-minute quarters. And that was the first minute of action. It's been dominated by the Ironmen. 3-0 off a nice layup from Oliver and a free throw from Taylor Williams. What do you want to see in these final 3 minutes for the Ironmen to kind of control the tempo and keep doing what they've been doing to hold on to this game?
Yeah, as JV players, you said, they don't really have a bunch of experience in some kind of like overtime, big-time game. But still, I want to see patience from them. Of course, this whole program is kind of built upon a system of fearless basketball, of patience, and a really fundamental program. So I expect to see those kind of characteristics follow this team as well.
Yeah, same lineup in for Community. Heaven Bennett, number 24, is into the ball game, as well as Witzig, number 20, trying to get open. Deep pass thrown. That one's caught by Annalise Oliver. Witzig is bringing it up. Sophia Mack is also on the floor, along with Taylor Williams. Witzig nearly loses that one. Finds an open Williams. Deep three just off the front rim. And O'Fallon's going to take that one back. Driving to the rack, a bit of a Euro step, just misses that one. Maybe a little bit more time to collect the basketball. O'Fallon seems to be rushing things offensively. It might be time to slow it down for the Panthers. Williams has got it. That one nearly gets poked away. Great hounding defense from O'Fallon. The ball's up and grabbed by the Panthers.
A few turnovers for the Ironmen here.
Both of these teams seem a little rushed. Deep three. Just misses. O'Fallon's going to try to regain that one, but that's just hit out of bounds. Great defense there from Sophia Mack. She was able to really pressure O'Fallon and not let them get that ball and get a second chance opportunity. That's huge. Just those tiny plays like that makes a huge difference. Now let's see if the Ironmen slow it up and just wait for their best shot. Witzig's bringing it up the front court and forces that one. It's going to be a turnover. We're down under 2 minutes yet now. Only 3 points have been scored in overtime. 3 more from O'Fallon as they attempted that three. And that will be a loose ball foul on the Ironmen.
Gosh, if I was in 2K, I feel like the announcers would have been like, go ahead basket, misses. I don't know. But that felt like an exact moment where it's just a go-ahead basket.
I love the 2K commentary.
To try to get that 3-point, try to get this game tied with 1:49 left.
Yeah, this is a big possession for O'Fallon. So far, we've seen we've seen some decent shots from them, but it seems a little bit rushed. I think they need to slow it down because they have some people that can knock down the three. I've seen some really nice form, and they can get to the rack, but I think I want to see more ball movement and just waiting for that shot, slow it down, and wait for your shot.
Yeah, I mean, we've just seen so much fast pace from kind of both teams, a little stumbling, O'Fallon trying to put pressure, and it seems like it's affecting the Ironman squad as well. So I just want to see more patience, more kind of communication among the team to really come together and put this game away.
Yeah, I have a quick JV story. I've actually thought, so I never played any overtime games when I was on JV, but one game we had was very close, and there was about 6 seconds left, and they had an inbound. Now, I didn't get a lot of minutes on JV, you know, I rode the bench a little bit, had some fun, and all of a sudden, coach pointed at me, and I was like, it's time for me to go in, because 6'6" me was like, okay, cool. So I got in, guarded the inbound, and then I was out again. But we won that game, so I played like 0.5 seconds. Nice pass from O'Fallon, and they got me on a bit of a distracted moment, but that was a great inbounds play, great screen. She got in there, nice layup. It's a 1-point lead for the Ironmen. Ironmen looking for something open. Taylor Williams, great cut. That one just falls a little short. O'Fallon has the chance to take the lead here. And now we're seeing O'Fallon slow it up, just waiting for their best shot. Number 24 has had the ball in her hands all game, and she's going to draw that. Oh, that's actually going to be a travel as she tried to maneuver past the Ironmen, and they kind of built a wall, nowhere to get inside into the paint.
That's huge. Ooh.
Well, this one's almost turned over. It's a sprawl on the floor. Witzig's going to tie that one up. Jump ball possession goes to the Ironmen. Great job by Witzig just getting on the floor and getting a hand on it. So it's a jump ball and Iron basketball.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of kind of pressure from the Panthers defense here. Looking to see how the Ironmen are going to make some decisions going here.
Yeah, you can tell this is a game that they haven't really experienced before. It's a different kind of pressure, a lot closer than a lot of their games. And I think they're responding really well. There's been some turnovers, but that was a great move from Williams to get open, and Witzig found her. Some hounding, double teaming by O'Fallon, and now they're taking it the other way. Trying to force that one to the three-point shot. It gets tipped around. It's going to stay O'Fallon basketball as it was nearly stolen by Heaven Bennett, the 5-foot sophomore guard.
Yeah, this game is heating up. We're seeing a lot of plays for the basketball. A lot of chaos going on.
There's exactly 60 seconds left in the game. That was nearly an over and back from O'Fallon. Now some ball movement, keeping it up at the top of the key. We've seen 3 O'Fallon Panthers touch it, now 4. Everybody's getting a touch here. Seemed like a near almost open corner 3. There's an open jump shot. That one's going to be a bit short, and O'Fallon steps out of bounds. They try to save it. 41.4 seconds left on the clock. Community leads by 1. We've seen a lot of turnovers from Community, and we have a new check-in for the Ironmen. That is number 14, Ari Hunt, the 5'6" freshman.
One thing we're actually seeing is Coach Feeney was over there kind of trying to coach the team for a second. Seeing a lot of passion from this program.
And that is really cool to see. A foul on O'Fallon. And once again, Taylor Williams will be going to the free throw line with 32 seconds left and the Iron up by 1. Great job being able to remain with the basketball, not turn that one over, as we've seen some really high emotions, and it's hard to do that. The high arcing free throw is good. The Iron get a bit of a sigh of relief to push it to a 2-point lead. Another free throw down would be a huge sigh of relief, having a good 3-point lead. So Fallon has missed some threes here tonight. And that one's down. The Ironmen are up 46-43. 32 seconds left. Now we're under 30. O'Fallon's taking it the other way. She's going to take that 3 early. That one nearly went in off the backboard. Ironman rebound, and Taylor Williams controls it, and she's going to slow it down with 15 seconds left. Gives that one into Hunt. Hunt's going to be fouled and go into the free throw line. It's a 3-point Ironman lead with under 15 seconds left. This is the moment where you really just need one of these free throws to fall down. Then you have a 2-possession lead and a lot of breathing room.
Yeah, both crowds, both teams watching this game, getting really into it as we see such a close game in this leading up to tonight's varsity action.
That first free throw misses, and here comes the second one. Her teammates came to encourage her, giving her a high five, cheering her on. That's what you love to see in basketball. Hunt takes the second free throw, and that one is good. Trying to ice this game, 47-43. We got 10 seconds left on the clock. Great defense from the Ironmen, not letting O'Fallon get much of anything. Deep three is up and good, and the clock is still running, and I believe that's going to be ball game.
Wow. Ironmen win.
Yeah, the Ironmen come off victorious despite the deep three effort from the Panthers with about 3 seconds left, but that clock rolled, and it is ball game. Wow, what a start to today's action. That was very exciting.
Yeah, a blockbuster kind of main event going into what should be a very good game tonight for the varsity Ironman team. One thing I don't know if I really like about high school basketball is that like running clock after a basket. It's kind of up to the refs if the clock stops or not. That situation feels a little.
Yeah, it seems kind of like a gray area, right? There isn't really any written rules that I know of. It's kind of up to the ref, like you said, where sometimes I do see refs that are like, okay, let's stop the clock and kind of get back to this. But most of the time, it is typically a running clock situation. So it's kind of, I mean, there's varied opinions on that. I agree. I like the stopped clock and give the other team a chance, but Community really played their heart out in this game, and I mean, they deserve to win that contest.
Yeah, 2:30 is the time that the game was originally expected to start, but now we've got 15 minutes until the main event tonight.
The 15 minutes has not started quite yet, so I think we will take a quick break and come back with about 10 minutes until the contest for the O'Fallon Panthers and the Normal Community Ironmen.
Good evening. Tonight we have Ironman girls basketball facing the O'Fallon Panthers. Tonight we have Normal Community 16-3 heading into this game. Oh, wait. Guys, I need to introduce myself. It's Bella Green alongside Zach Knox Doyle for the commentary tonight. Just letting you guys know who these voices are you're listening to. Anyways, but we have Community 16-3. Two of those losses against Washington we've talked about. We live streamed that earlier. Recently a loss just a few days ago on Thursday against Peoria Richwoods in a conference game. It was just a 44-41 game. So a really close game that Community unfortunately fell short of. It was a well-fought battle, a lot of chances for Community, but they're looking to improve tonight against a really good opponent in O'Fallon.
Yeah, and when we look at O'Fallon, the record is deceiving, kind of like the last boys game that we covered. The O'Fallon Panthers are 11-6, but all 6 of their losses have come to AP-ranked teams. When you look at Breese Central, who they lost to just by 1, they are the #1 team in 2A according to the last AP poll. They also, 2 of their losses came to Alton, one by 1 point and one by 16. Alton is top 10 in 4A, and actually Max Preps has that at top 10 in all of Illinois. And if you look at teams like Nashville, #2 in the AP 2A poll, Whitney Young, only a 4-point loss. They're #7 in the 4A poll, and their last loss against P&D, they're 15-3, and also top 10 on the AP poll. I think that is going to have a big impact on the game. Just the level of teams that this O'Fallon squad has played, and they're really hungry for a victory against one of those top teams in Community, who's #14 in 4A.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that when I was looking at O'Fallon's schedule, I was like 11-6, but then I looked at all of these teams ranked consistently in the top 10. It's kind of crazy what O'Fallon's been able to do, led by Josie Christopher and Haley Tart, who last year were very big contributors just as sophomores, now juniors, taking a big lead on this team and really getting a lot of firepower in the backcourt, which Community will have to find a way to contain a little.
Yeah, Christopher is the scoring leader on this squad, having 16 points per game, 3 boards, 3 assists, and 5 steals, which is extraordinary. And then when you look at Haley Tart, it's really a two-headed monster for them. Tart averages 14 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals. So they combine for 30 points a game and 9 steals. That's really a big combo for them. Both guards, so they have a very strong backcourt. And Tart is actually 5'7", a rather tall guard, I would say. And they're both juniors, so I'm really excited to see how they play together and use each other to find different openings for the Panthers. And one of those openings could be Jetta Williams. Jetta Williams is 6'4", but she has missed 5 games, struggling with some injuries. She is a junior as well. In the games that she's played, she grabs 5 boards and 2 blocks per game, also gets 5 points, but she's really a defensive presence. Can you talk about that defense that Feeney talked to you about when Williams is in the game?
Yeah, that's one thing that Feeney said right when I talked about O'Fallon. We kind of have 2 different scouting reports. If Jada Williams is going to play tonight as a 6'4" presence in the post, you're going to have to account for that. He says that makes their defense elite. He says they're already good, but with Jada Williams in the game, it completely changes everything, and it will have to be a really big fight for Community on offense. But without Jada Williams, he says this will still be a fight. I mean, this is a thing that will have big implications as we go into the playoffs, right? This is a sectional opponent. This is a team that last year Community lost to in the regular season. It was a game that was kind of close. It's about an 11-point game. But still, one thing that was the big missing factor in that game, no Raina Powers. So without Raina Powers, that's one thing Feeney said, that is huge. Last time he said they got annihilated on the boards without Reina. He said, with Reina in the game, anytime she's with us, you feel better. So of course, Reina Powers leading the team in steals this year. We're gonna have our own pretty elite defense to give O'Fallon some little struggles.
Yeah, she also leads the team in rebounds. Despite being a forward, would you say probably a forward? She can do a little bit of everything, so it's kind of hard to put her into a position. But this is going to be a great matchup to go through a little bit of history from O'Fallon. They won the state championship 2 years ago. Last year, they won regionals, lost in the sectional semifinal, which is like the Sweet 16, if you think about it like that, in 4A, to Alton, who took down Community last year. So this is a really talented team, and I'm very excited for this matchup.
Yeah, we talked about the JV jerseys. These jerseys are pretty interesting from O'Fallon, too. A lot of yellow. I'm thinking it's kind of cool, kind of flashy for this game. That should be a really good kind of matchup.
Yeah, we got very sharp jerseys here. It's going to be a bit on the eyes. Normal Community's wearing white jerseys, and O'Fallon is wearing yellow jerseys. It's going to be a very flashy contest, which I think is exactly what we're expecting, with some great defense from both teams.
Yeah, and we see the national anthem coming up. We're going to turn it over to the PA announcer.
Now let's meet the starters for this evening's contest. First, for the visiting O'Fallon Panthers. Starting at guard, 5'6" junior number 2, Josie Christopher. Starting another guard, 5'6" junior number 11, Kenna Behringer. Starting another guard, 5'9" junior number 23, Haley Clark. Starting at forward, a 5'10" freshman number 42, Nakia McCottrell. And starting at another forward, 5'10" junior number 50, Quinn Surjaw. The Panthers head coach is Nick Nohoff. He's assisted by Katie Bittner and Greg Nohoff. Now for your normal Community Iron. Starting at guard, a 5'6" senior number 1, Amia Lester. Starting at center, a 6'1" senior number 4, Marco Reynolds. Starting at another guard, a 5'10" senior number 5, Kenna Malinowski. Starting another guard, a 5'8" senior number 15, Cameron Fisher. And a guard, a 5'8" senior number 23, Raina Powers. The Ironmen are coached by head coach Dave Feeney, assisted by Michael Mace, Megan Williams, and Darylyn Dunn. Today's officials are Ryan Russell, Matt Freeman, and Matt Mayer.
Yeah, so for the O'Fallon Panthers, starting is Josie Christopher, Kenna Behringer, Haley Tart, Nakia McCottrell, and Quinn Zerjal. Community has Kenna Malinowski, Amia Lester, Marco Reynolds, Camry Fisher, and Raina Powers. Like we said, Raina Powers is going to make a huge difference this game. Another big difference maker, Jada Williams, who Community said was a big game changer in the game plan, is not playing for O'Fallon tonight. So their tallest player tonight is 5'10". So we kind of have the height advantage right now. So we'll see that going in here. We also have O'Fallon starting a freshman. That was kind of interesting to see that in that Norwell Community boys game that we played, that we commentated on, to see a freshman starting. Shows that this program kind of has confidence in some of their players. The rest being juniors. We're going to get ready for tip-off right here. Marco Reynolds.
And Haley Tart was in that tip-off. And that is going to be Ironman basketball. Raina Powers collecting it and bringing it up the court. Powers with a nice move, gets it into Reynolds. Reynolds with a quick pass to Lester. And Lester, as she's done all season, is controlling the offense. Went from slow to fast, gets it into Reynolds. Reynolds working with two bodies in the paint. And now we see the ball in Malinowski's hand. Powers has got it. Great ball movement from the Ironman, just waiting for the best shot. Camry Fisher with the touch. Back to Powers. Powers trying to cut it inside. There is a lot of movement back to Lester. And Fisher back at the top of the key into Marco Reynolds. And that's going to be out of bounds. Ironman. That was some really good defense from O'Fallon. 44 seconds of just not letting Community really get into the lane. Every time they gave it to Marco Reynolds, she was kind of swallowed up in the inside with a double team attack.
Yeah, gonna expect a lot of energy coming out here after such an energetic JV game that went into overtime.
Now the Panthers on the other way. Number 42, Nakia McCottrell just missed that one. She averages 6 points a game and gets 2 steals, one of the best defensive players. That one just bounces right off of Lester. She regains the possession. Josie Christopher is on her, who averages 5 steals a game, the leading defender for this O'Fallon Panthers squad. Camry Fisher thinks about the 3 ball, tries to get inside, gets it back to Powers. Powers is going to drive it, gets hit, goes through the contact. Marco Reynolds with a nice spin move. That one bounces a couple times on the rim, and it's O'Fallon basketball. Still scoreless here about 2 minutes into the contest. Haley Tart has got it, and she likes her look. There's a 3 ball, and that one a little too much. Camry Fisher is fouled by Josie Christopher, the leader in steals. She also does pick up some fouls just because of how much she goes for the steals, averaging about 2 fouls per contest. That's the first foul for the Panthers here tonight.
Right there, I saw those instincts from Christopher. Is kind of, you can see how she gets so many steals with all those long arms coming in there.
And the Community tries to get it into Marco Reynolds. That's going to be batted around, stays Community ball. I don't think Christopher is going to get as many steals as she averages tonight with guarding Lester. That's a really tough assignment. She's a great ball handler, doesn't turn the ball over too much. Raina Powers is posting up, gets it back to Fisher. Lester was cutting and has an open shot. Nice patience from Lester, just waiting for her opportunity to put in a little baby hook. That was the first score of the contest, about 2 minutes and 20 seconds into it. Now Nakia's got the ball, gives it over to Christopher. Christopher, deep bomb, and that one is good. This team can shoot the 3 ball. We've seen them already attempt 2 deep shots here today, and I think that's something that they're going to look for quite a bit. Raina Powers from 3, knocks it down, trading baskets with the O'Fallon Panthers.
Wow, Powers not a person who takes a lot of threes. Usually she's averaging just 0.8 attempts per game. But when she does shoot it, she has that ability.
And we saw her shoot it in the last game that we commentated last Saturday, maybe 2 Saturdays ago. She shot 1 3 and knocked it down. Lester trying to steal that one away from Haley Tart. Now Haley Tart is going to slow it up and wait for O'Fallon to set up their offense. A down screen from Josie Christopher. And O'Fallon is off and running another 3-point attempt, their 3rd of the day. That one is no good from Kenna Beringer, who averages 8 points a game. Raina Powers is bringing it up. Fisher on the wing. Fisher back to Powers. And Powers is going to drive in. She saw Kenna Malinowski. The sharp shooting three-pointer is good from Malinowski. That is Malinowski's bread and butter. She is a three-point specialist on this squad and the leading scorer for Community. A drive from O'Fallon. Marco Reynolds just takes that one from her, and she's going to go coast to coast. She sees Camry Fisher, who lines up the three. Little short as Raina Powers nearly gets that one back, but O'Fallon's going to take it the other way. Kenna Beringer gets that one over to Haley Tart. Now we have a drive from O'Fallon. Lots of ball movement, waiting for the best look. And there's the three-point attempt. A little long, and I'm seeing a lot of scrap from Christopher. We haven't seen a steal yet or a rebound, but you see her kind of come out of nowhere, and she's got a lot of speed. She is the Energizer Bunny. Nice pass into Marco Reynolds. Little too much on that one, but great find from Amia Lester. Raina Powers, solid defense against Haley Tart. It has been 5 minutes of play, and O'Fallon only has 3 points. Raina Powers with the drive, nearly finishes the and one there. This O'Fallon team is a team that averages 54 points a game. They only have 3 in the first 5 minutes. We're seeing some swarming defense from Community without fouling, which is very impressive.
Yeah, I've seen Community have a lot of just coverage over the floor, not letting O'Fallon kind of get into those cracks. But one thing this team, we saw Raina go straight into the hole. We don't see that. I mean, Jada Williams was going to be a thing that would maybe stop players from going inside as much. Last year they had Demijah Bold, 6'3", a D1 player at Western Michigan right now. So both times they've had to kind of scout against O'Fallon. They've had to think about this huge factor in the paint. This year, the paint might be open a little more, have a little bit of a different style for the Ironmen.
Raina Powers converted 1 of 2 free throws, leading the Iron in 4 points in tonight's contest, and she also has been a hound on the defensive end, as you said. O'Fallon's going to try to drive that one. A nice take from Nakia McCottrell, but that one just doesn't quite fall. Now they're trying to push it to Armani Connor. Connor into Powers. Powers wants another one and one. Raina Powers, count it, 11-3 Ironmen. Bella, you got very excited about that one.
Gosh, Raina Powers has such an ability inside, like to take contact and to just go through it, especially getting and ones. Kind of saw that last year with Allie Ince. It seemed like they both always get fouled inside and always have the ability to convert it as well. 3 points for Raina Powers on that possession right there.
Yeah, she really knows how to draw contact. We've already seen it twice today. She's gone to the free throw line 2 times in today's contest, converting 2 of 3. She's already up to 7 points. We're seeing Raina Powers has been very successful this season, but we're seeing almost a different Raina Powers that's driving the ball and just looking for that contact. You love to see the aggression, and you need it in big 4A games like this one. There's the 3-point attempt from the Panthers. That was freshman, and now we have a rebound from the Panthers, and we're going to have another 3-point attempt. That one's just off the mark. The first shot was from freshman Quinn Zergel from deep. Now Kenna Malinowski's going to take a 3 of her own. That one nearly falls in, and it's O'Fallon basketball. We have seen O'Fallon in nearly every possession look for a 3-point attempt, and if they start falling, this game could be a whole different story. Nice move from the freshman Quinn Zergel, getting it inside and putting that one in the hoop.
Yeah, and she was really calling for the ball right there on the perimeter, looking to get inside. She saw an opportunity and she took it.
Now, a drive from the Ironmen. That was Haley Michaels for a 9-point lead. And correction earlier, Quinn Zergel is actually a junior. Nakia McCottrell is the freshman on this team, the 2 forwards in the lineup. Now, Haley Tart has it with Raina Powers on her, just waiting for the best opportunity. There's a deep 3 shot. That one is good from Zergel. Zergel's got 5 points. And O'Fallon is back within 6 with 45 seconds left on the clock. Haley Michaels, Amia Lester, the guards in this lineup. Raina Powers as well. Kenna Malinowski. Lester is getting hounded. Somehow gets it to Malinowski.
Tandem of Tart and Christopher, that has to be scary.
And now Connor on the layup from Powers' pass. And back to Michaels. The Ironmen are going to have another chance. Now Malinowski gets that one into Connor. Connor finds Michaels. That's an open three. Count it. 17-8, Normal Community. 15 seconds left in the first quarter. The offense has been explosive for the Iron, and they have been able to contain O'Fallon to only 8. Let's see what they do on this final possession. Tart's looking to keep it. 3 seconds on the clock. She drives, gets in, off the backboard. Community gets the board. That'll be the end of the first quarter with the Ironmen leading 17-8. You couldn't have asked for a better first quarter if you are head coach Dave Feeney.
Yeah, and the Ironmen tonight, 17-8, a big lead kind of in this first quarter. Kind of maybe not as we thought. O'Fallon looks a little kind of bewildered by the way Community is hitting shots tonight. In that Richwoods matchup, is one thing that Feeney was talking about, is this 20% rule. Is saying that when you scout a team or when they scout you, there's always a chance that they're 20% better or 20% worse than you see. And he says he believes that he wants teams to think they're 20% better than when they were in Richwoods. And we're kind of seeing that tonight. I think they're probably 20% better than they were against Richwoods.
Yeah, and you see it all the time where teams that have a better record or having a better season or even a better team fall to teams like how the Ironmen did fall to Richwoods. Richwoods is a good squad, but definitely the Ironmen have more accolades this year. I mean, you see it all the time in basketball. We saw it today. Number 13, Illinois, lost to USC, which I'm still a little hurt about. USC was a little over 500, but Illinois has been on fire, and it happens all the time. Now we're seeing Normal Community dominate this contest so far. One thing I want to point out, O'Fallon shot about 7 threes, maybe even 8 in that quarter, and only knocked down 2. If they can start knocking those down and just waiting for a bit more open three-point shots, this game could change in a flash. The substitution, Jalea Smith is into the game for O'Fallon and has the ball, thought about lining up the three-point shot, instead travels as she got that one over to Tart. And Community will have a chance to get their biggest lead of the night. Right now it's 9. They've had it a couple times today, looking to push it out to double digits. Zoe Wilde in the contest for the Iron. Marco Reynolds also returned into the game. Malinowski was calling for that one, wanted it at the corner 3, just a little long. Tart's going to take it coast to coast. She has some speed, getting an open lane after bulldozing past Haley Michaels. She is one speedy player. Kenna Malinowski with Jalea Smith on her, gets it to Powers. Powers is going to drive that one in, now kick it back out to Michaels. Zoe Wilde open in the corner. She wants it, takes the three-point shot just off the back iron, and that ball is going to remain with Normal Community, giving them a second chance as they lead 17-10.
Yeah, we talk about Tart on that play right there, just blazing speed in there, finishing inside. That's kind of what Feeney said. He said they have one player who he kind of thinks is like Raina, because that's what I was thinking on that play. I was like, that's kind of like Raina with that quick burst and getting inside there. So we're kind of seeing maybe double tonight. We're going to see a lot from this matchup.
Yeah, there was a 5-second call for Normal Community. O'Fallon's going to get the basketball, and I think that's a really good comparison, as Tart has hounding defense, but she is also able to get to the rack with her speed. And what vision from Tart, finding a cutting Nakia McCottrell, the freshman 5'10 forward. We will be saying her name a lot in the future.
That was maybe one of the most nonchalant passes I've ever seen. She just walked away like it was nothing.
That was it was a deceiving, almost Jokic-like, where you're not expecting the pass. It's going to remain Normal Community basketball. We're seeing Tart fall on the ground in just the second quarter. You'd love to see the passion from this O'Fallon Panthers team and the national anthem. I'm not sure if you caught this, but they were all kind of locking arms during the national anthem. You know this team has a lot of chemistry, as do the Ironmen. believe they might have called 5 seconds again on normal community. Actually, that is a foul on Marco Reynolds during the inbound, and goes back to O'Fallon. Already they are starting to cut at this normal community lead to start the second quarter. It was 17-8 after one. It's been a 4-0 run by the Panthers.
Yeah, we might have to keep an eye out on Reynolds' fouls. Last night, or on Thursday night against Richwood, she fouled out, which made the game really different going into those final minutes. So as we see this game progress, we want to see Marco stay in the game.
What a fast break, a beautiful find from Haley Michaels, giving that one into Camry Fisher to give the Ironmen a 5-point lead. The play before, we saw Tart with a tough finish of her own. Tart has gotten going, scoring or assisting on the last 3 plays. Make that 4 plays as she knocks down the triple. She's got 7 points and 1 assist in this quarter. Haley Michaels is going to take that the other way, gets double teamed. Tart with the steal. She wants another assist, and she will get it. Josie Christopher just tied up the ball game. It is 19-19. All 11 of O'Fallon's points in this quarter have been scored or assisted on by Haley Tart. She is getting going here today.
Yeah, we're just seeing a lot of charge coming from O'Fallon. Like we said, energy from that JV game kind of coming into here. Community was getting really hyped there. You saw them have very quick energy. O'Fallon kind of took them a little while, but now we're seeing them in full action. We see why they are such a tough team, such a formidable force, as community coach Feeney described.
Yeah, it's almost as if we've seen 2 teams here tonight. We saw the team that scored 8 points in the first quarter and shot a lot of threes. And in the second quarter, in just 2.5 minutes, they scored 11, driving the ball a lot more, just being aggressive. And that opened up the 3-pointer. And then Tart was left open, being able to knock that down. Great idea on the offense. Amazing game plan against Community, who was really locking them up in the first quarter. Now Raina Powers is going to drive that, nearly got stolen, and that one's going to go off the backboard. Now O'Fallon's taking it the other way. O'Fallon's been red hot in this quarter, outscoring Community 11-2 to tie the ball game back up. Nakia McCottrell's got it at the top of the key. Now they're going to try to get it inside. Another great pass from Tart, and the 3 is down from number 12, Kayla Colmer, off of the bench, and O'Fallon has their first lead of the night. And keep an eye on this. Tart has all the points and assists in this second quarter for O'Fallon. Fisher's going to give that one into Michaels. Michaels to Reynolds. Reynolds back to Michaels. And she gets that to Fisher. Fisher with the drive. Nice attack from Fisher. Just misses, but she gets her own board. And that's going to remain Ironman basketball as Haley Tart tried to steal that one away. Kenna Malinowski is coming into the ball game for her 3-point shooting abilities. Haley Michaels going to the bench. They're really clapping it up for her. She has played excellent today.
Yeah, you talk about Tart getting all the assists and all the points, being responsible for every point in the second quarter. Kind of reminds me of a 2K My player, me just taking over the game.
Malinowski just misses that 3-point shot. O'Fallon's taking it the other way. And no other than Tart drives and draws the foul against Raina Powers. Tart has 7 points and 3 assists in this quarter alone. In the last 4 minutes, it has been a Tart takeover. Now going to the line again, her averages this season, 14 points, 5 boards, 4 assists, and 4 steals, which we saw a steal in this quarter as well. Tart nets the first free throw, bringing her total up to 8 in the quarter. I'm not sure what her total is for the night. It may be double digits now. I think she had 1 bucket in the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
5, 7, 10.
And now 11 as she knocks that one down as well. Haley Tart's up to 11 points on the night, 9 in the quarter. Lester is hounded by the double team again, but Community can break through it. Powers to Malinowski, 3-point shot, just misses. Marco Reynolds trying to get that rebound, can't get around Tart. And now O'Fallon's taking it the other way. Camry Fisher playing some very solid defense, trying to force a turnover. O'Fallon does get a shot, but it seemed a bit forced from Kayla Calmer. And now Community will take it the other way. Lester's got it with a screen from Reynolds. She's into the paint, draws the foul, nearly getting that one to fall. We almost saw an and one from Lester there. Now she's at the free throw line. Lester, a pretty solid free throw shooter.
And we see player number 11, Kenna Behringer, who started the game. She has some green shoes on. We said some flash. That is flash.
That is flash, and we have seen a lot of flash from O'Fallon. They are a very speedy team, kind of lightning quick as their jersey might suggest with that yellow color there. And that is especially the case for Haley Tart, who has blazed through the court, as well as Josie Christopher, that double-headed dragon for them. And both free throws are good from Amia Lester, putting this game back into a one-possession ball game, 21-24, with 3:24 left in the second quarter. McConnell gets that one over. There's the deep three, and that one knocks it down from Josie Christopher. Makes that one. It is a 6-point lead, the biggest lead for the Panthers today. Lester gets that one stolen from Tart. Tart's going to take it the other way and draws the foul. Community is not happy about, thought it was all ball there. But Lester kind of shook her head like maybe she did get a piece of Tart there on the drive.
Yeah, Tart just taking over. You see O'Fallon kind of doing this a lot with Tart and Christopher swarming people, both combining for 9 steals a game. I mean, you see that game plan working like crazy tonight.
So Tart has 11 tonight, correct?
Tart has 9, actually.
9,
I
okay.
miscounted.
Now she has 10. There's the double digits from Tart. And what a quarter.
Yes.
All of those points coming in the second quarter.
Tart has 11.
Okay, Tart has 11. We're trying to get that tally here. Now, Raina Powers has it at the top of the key with Tart on her. She finds Malinowski. Malinowski hasn't made a 3 since the first quarter, but you know when she gets on fire, she can really light it up. She had a stretch this year where she made 4 threes in the matter of 2 minutes. And when she's kind of got that Kobe mentality, she's always going to shoot it, and she can really knock it down. Nice move in the inside. Nakia McCottrell, the freshman, over Armani Connor. Lester with Christopher on her. Christopher hasn't allowed Lester to get open and has really just been a dog on defense. Malinowski gets it to Lester. Nice spin move, and the pass ricochets off the front rim. O'Fallon's looking for a double-digit lead here. Tart slows it up, finds an open 3. There it is, and off the front rim from the Panthers. Community gets a bit of a break there, as that was a wide-open 3 from O'Fallon.
Yeah, have to be kind of happy that one three-pointer from O'Fallon doesn't hit. Just take a break, calm down. You see Zoe Wilde bringing the ball up right now.
Yeah, Wilde just checked into this contest, and she's looking to make a difference. Camry Fisher also in the ball game. Gets it back to Wilde. Wilde to Powers. Powers has Tart on her, nowhere to go. Gives it to Fisher. Deep 3, count it. Camry Fisher's having herself a game, and the Ironmen are back within 6. Tart walking it across the backcourt with Powers on her. Gives that one to Christopher. And now everybody's touched it just like that for O'Fallon. Here's the 3 from Christopher. She got it back and she knocked it down. It is 33-24 O'Fallon. The quarter started with a Tart just going crazy. She had 10 points really in about 5 minutes, and the last few minutes have been Christopher, who's knocked down 2 deep 3 balls.
Yeah, we've seen O'Fallon just completely take over momentum, but that does not mean Community is having a bad night by any means. On the season, they average just like 6 three-pointers made. Tonight, they have 4 already. So having a really good game from the outside. Maybe we can try to keep that momentum going. Like we said, O'Fallon is getting this lead from hitting crazy threes. This game is so close with just a few threes, if Community can make them as well.
Yeah, and you say Community's made 4, and they average 6. About 3 of those comes from Malinowski usually. Malinowski only with 1 of the 4 3-pointers. There's a steal from Christopher, just taking it out of the cookie jar. Raina Powers tried to have a surprise block there, a chase down, but Christopher lays that one up too quickly. Wilde's got it. Just going to the corner to Malinowski. Malinowski to Powers, avoiding the double team that can happen in just an instant from this Panthers team. We're hearing some D-up chants from the Panthers. Now there's a 3-ball from Connor, little long, and the Panthers will take it the other way with an 11-point lead. Zoe Wilde gets a piece of that one, giving the Ironmen another chance. Fisher's got it, gives it to Wilde. Wilde's gonna cross the threshold. She's got some hounding defense from O'Fallon and is not giving it up. And there's a foul on number 11, Kenna Behringer. What a job by Wilde, not losing the ball there. Just great concentration from the junior.
Yeah, a lot of effort for her on the play, but O'Fallon defense just swarming, really working together as well to get that double team.
Now there's 24 seconds left on the clock. I wouldn't be surprised if Community tries to hold this one off for the last possession in this first half. It's an 11-point O'Fallon lead, 35-24. First quarter was dominated by Normal Community, and O'Fallon has really taken care of business in the second. Now Lester gives it to Powers. We're down to 5 seconds. Powers 3-ball. Count it. Powers is shooting the 3-ball, and that's going to be the end of the first half. What a way for the Ironmen to close that, bring it within 8. How are we feeling about those closing seconds of this game?
Yeah, I think that was perfect. Powers, a player that we don't normally see beyond the arc shooting, getting 2 3-pointers in this game. Like we said, only 6 3-pointers made per game for the whole team. So just having multiple people really catch fire from outside, especially that final shot right there, going through, letting Community cheer as they go into the locker room, high spirits to really get more momentum as we come into the second half.
Yeah, for those that are just joining or just joined a few minutes ago, it's 35-27 O'Fallon. The first quarter was all Community, leading 17-8. After one, Raina Powers had herself a first quarter, and O'Fallon came into the second hungry. They drove the ball quite a bit, going for many layups, which in turn opened up the 3-point line, where they knocked down 4 threes in the second quarter alone. They were led by Haley Tart, who had 11. Was that the total we came up with? 11 points in that second quarter, and Josie Christopher had a couple triples of her own. It was really a team effort from O'Fallon, and there's a half-court shot down and good. We have the halftime half-court challenge that just started up for these girls' games in the month of January, correct? Or is it for the rest of the season?
I think it might be just starting now, but I think they're looking to keep it going the whole season. Also, Christopher is leading the team in scoring with 13 points. So we're seeing that two-headed dragon in full effect tonight. Tart with 11 as well.
And as Christopher made 3 threes, I believe she's knocked down 3 triples and had a couple layups due to her speed. And it seems like once she knocks down a layup, all of a sudden Community kind of has to change up their approach, can't really let her into the paint. And when that happens, then she's getting these 3-point attempts that aren't necessarily open. They're definitely contested, but they're so deep. She has insane range. She has taken some really deep 3-balls, and it seems like every time that it is off her hand, it is up and good. She is an excellent player. And let's talk defense for O'Fallon for just a second. In that first quarter, Community only had 17 points, and then they were held to 10 in the second quarter after Raina Powers' last second 3 to make that total jump from 7 to 10. They had their double teams are just so impressive. They're able to pressure Community, and even when Community gets through it, they're already back on defense. It isn't even like it's a 4-on-3 for Community because they're so fast. I think that's what makes this team so successful.
Yeah, and I mean, I hate to say it, I want to bring up the Celtics right now.
Oh my goodness.
When I see defense working as such a group effort and such a team effort, it makes me think of the Celtics. I'm just saying, But it really is just like a work of art to see a team working together, to see double teams just so effective, and not just like double teams that go there, but then adjusting as well and being able to cover all aspects of the floor at all time. And it just seems like they just never lose sight of the kind of fundamentals of their system, constantly adjusting and constantly being in order.
Yeah, moving on to normal community, the game the score would have been quite different if Zoe Wilde wasn't able to poke out the ball. They were up by 11 in the closing seconds, and Wilde kind of poked the ball out, and it opened. There's another three. If you're watching the three-point contest, she is excited. What a three-point shot. But going back to the closing seconds of that half, Wilde nearly stole, well, she did. She popped it out, and Community was down 11, and then that was able to give them another possession instead of having to defend the red-hot O'Fallon Panthers. And then Raina Powers knocks down the three. That 11-point deficit that could have been 13 or 14 ended up being down to 8, and Community has not left this contest. They are still in this game, and they are giving it their all. Love to see that never quit attitude, and now we have a ball game here. It was seeming like it might have came out of hand like the games against the Washington Panthers, but Community is able to stay in this game against the O'Fallon Panthers.
Yeah, and then we talk about Richwoods just a few days ago where they lost, but Feeney actually had a pretty kind of positive attitude about the game. Talking about the end of the game, he said we still had chances. So that's a sign that they're a really good team. So with those chances, they still weren't able to convert. Saw a little bit of disorganization from the Ironmen late in the game. But they're hoping to completely change those. I mean, we've seen the Ironmen be able to be composed in the final seconds of the game, in the State Farm Holiday Classic, winning in overtime, hitting shots at big moments. So they've proven that they have the capabilities to really go the distance and give teams fights as they go on, and keep also that kind of poise as they go into those final minutes. Still, just a kind of, they have to have those senior leaders though, because we saw Marco fouled out in that game. When you lose the people who bring that poise, obviously also Raina Powers is making great impact in this game. I mean, O'Fallon last year, she wasn't in there. We're seeing a whole shift of what this game could be with leaders in this game who are making Community stay in this game and lengthen it.
And I believe Powers, if off of what I'm thinking, I think she might have 13. She's definitely in the double digits for tonight's contest, leading Community. And you talked about the loss. This is something I bring up a lot of the time about losses, how it's really just a learning experience. But I've really seen, especially in high school sports, I think losses are really important. You learn from them. Looking at Normal Community's last 5, they played Washington and they fell 61-43. Next game was an away contest at Moline, a big challenge for them, and they were able to win 35-32. And I think that's kind of, they came off that loss, they're hungry, get a big win. And then the next 2 games were against East Moline United, Peoria, 2 defeated teams, as you said, that haven't had a win this season, and Community beat them both by about 40 points. And then they go into this Richwoods game, which they fell by 3, and I think that has a lot to do with you're coming off of 2 games that were blowouts, and now you're playing a formidable opponent, and then you have kind of the reverse again in this game, coming off of that Washington loss when they played Moline. Now they're coming off of that Richwoods loss, and they're playing this O'Fallon team, and they're really hungry, and you can see it tonight.
Yeah, also a thing, looking at the bigger picture of the season, nobody really expected Community to be 16-3 at this point. And before that, even 16-2, only losing to Washington. Feeney said when I interviewed him, we had a chip on our shoulder coming into the season because nobody thought we were going to be any good. Now when we start 16-2, before last night, all of a sudden people think you're good. But he said the team needs to stay humble. They need those games like Richwoods to keep them in check and not make them be like, oh, yeah, we should be winning everything. It's kind of scary when you're not expected to win, and then all of a sudden you're like getting this huge record, and you're getting ranked on the AP poll and stuff. So you're getting all this stuff. That Richwood's game, he said, made people kind of question, oh, is Community good? Like, they kind of question their abilities, but he doesn't want that to get into the heads of this Community team. Staying humble, staying grounded in their talents, and pushing through games.
Yeah, and if we take a look at the Big 12 standings after Richwood's victory, they actually hopped ahead of Normal Community at the 4 spot in the Big 12 at 3-1. There are a lot of great teams so far in the Big 12. We have 5 teams that are all battling out for that 1 spot, and Bloomington is leading the chase. They're 4-0 in conference. With a point total of 228 in conference games. They've only given up 106 points in Big 12 contests, which is an average of like 21 points is all they're giving up against Big 12 teams. P&D's second, they're 3-0 in conference. Manual 4-1, then Richwoods at 3-1, Normal Community at 3-1. Obviously, this is a non-conference game, but once we start getting to those conference games, sometimes it's kind of like there's one team in the Big 12, and a lot of times it ends up being Normal Community, as it was with the boys last year. But this year there are so many teams in the Big 12 that every single conference game is going to count, and all of those are coming up really soon. I'm really excited to see who ends up being atop the Big 12. It could be any of those 5 teams.
Yeah, I really want to see what Community can do, especially with this season. Didn't get Big 12 the last few seasons. If they could do this, that would be amazing. And that's one reason why Feeney said that Richwood's loss kind of hurt a little. It's a conference game. But this game, there's not any conference implications. This is a game where they can be a little more free.
Yeah, this is where you show off your abilities. What can you do? And Marco Reynolds looked like she drew a little bit of contact, but there has been a lot of contact in this game. They're letting them play, which I'd love to see. That one just missed from Reynolds, who's still staying aggressive, which I think is really good. She's missed some layups, but they've all been highly contested. You want Reynolds to stay aggressive, and there was a finish from Nakia McCottrell, who has stayed aggressive in this contest, and O'Fallon pushes it back up to double digits, 37-27 to begin the third quarter. Lester's got it with Christopher on her. Christopher gets crossed up by Lester. Lester to Powers. Powers gets that one poked away, but it ends up in the hands of Reynolds. Reynolds is going to drive and going to be called for a travel. Reynolds wanted the foul on that one, and it seemed like maybe a bit of a stutter step as she was trying to get through 2 O'Fallon Panthers, which is something we've seen throughout the night. The Panthers love the double team, and they're fast enough that they can get back.
Yeah, and I assume Marco Reynolds had to go through a bit of a lot of preparation for this game with 2 kind of scouting reports all on her matchup with Jada Williams. So kind of interesting, probably just adjusting to whatever was going on tonight.
Josie Christopher just knocked down the deep ball. She has 16 points in tonight's contest. It's a 13-point Panthers lead, their biggest of the game. Malinowski's swinging to Lester. Lester to Powers, thought about the 3. Powers back to Lester. Lester with a drive. Nice drive. The floater comes off the rim. Now O'Fallon on the other way. It's a chance for them to really open up this ball game. They have a 13-point lead right now, and they're going to slow it up with Tart standing on the Community end. A screen from O'Fallon gets Tart inside the lane. Euro step and the finish. Tart with a little bit of everything here tonight. She's got 13 points. What an excellent ball player. It's going to be timeout Community. O'Fallon's got a 15-point lead, outscoring Community by 7 in the first 2 minutes of this third quarter. Let's take a second and talk about Haley Tart and Josie Christopher. Obviously on the box score for the stats this year, it was obvious that these were the 2 lead players, but now that we've really seen them, it's even more obvious. Josie Christopher can knock down the 3, and she also has really hounding defense. And then Haley Tart's more the do everything, controlling the offense, has had great passes throughout the game. What about these 2 have been so extraordinary tonight?
Yeah, both with 13 points tonight. Just an insane performance. 26 points, almost outscoring Community tonight, just alone.
Actually, I believe Christopher, after that 3, is up to 16 now, right? Because I think you said she had 13 at halftime.
Wait, they are outscoring Community right now. Yeah, with 16 points for Christopher. Just an amazing showing for them. I feel like I just can't get the Celtics out of my head. I just think of such a good tandem like Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, able to perfectly work together on both the offensive and defensive side.
I was thinking more like Prime Warriors, little Steph Curry, Klay Thompson action.
Sure.
With Tart being able to spread the court like Curry and Christopher knocking it down like Klay. That was my comparison, maybe not Celtics. Marco Reynolds drives that one, gives it to Lester. Malinowski, no hesitation 3, and Tart's going to take it the other way. Here's her speed once again. She's trying to go coast to coast, and Raina Powers came in with the block, but she's also going to be called on the foul. Actually, might have been Malinowski on the foul. It was a bit of a double team from Normal Community. The foul is going to be on Raina Powers, and Tart will be at the free throw line looking for 14th and 15th point of the ball game. The first one is down and good. It is a 16-point O'Fallon lead. Haley Michaels is into the ball game for Normal Community. Just a quick rundown of the lineup: Amia Lester, Haley Michaels, Kenna Malinowski, Raina Powers, and Marco Reynolds are all starters, and then the 6th woman, Haley Michaels, is in the ballgame. Lester with a screen from Reynolds, trying to go for a pick and roll. Now Powers has got Tart on her, and there's a foul on Tart. Powers, and it's starting to become Powers and Haley Tart just driving at each other, trying to draw contact, because that's what both of them can do so well. And Raina Powers had 13 in that first half, and 13 of the 27. Now she's looking for her 14th and 15th point. That one just off the back iron. And you said it at the start of the game, and now I'm really seeing it. These two players, Tart and Powers, are a lot alike. They can thread the needle, they can draw contact, they can shoot if they need to. Powers with their 14th point of the evening, and the funny thing is, they're both number 23. Tart's gonna dish that one around to 42, Nakia McCottrell. McCottrell to Tart, back to McCottrell. They're playing hot potato. There's the 3-pointer from Tart, count it, and she keeps that shooting hand up in the air for 18 points for Tart.
Wow. Just an amazing performance from her tonight. Dominant.
Haley Michaels is going to drive and finish. 30-47, O'Fallon leading, but Haley Michaels with a much-needed basket for Normal Community.
Yeah, first field goal for the Ironmen in this second half.
O'Fallon's going to take yet another 3. We've seen it all night. That one off the back iron from McCottrell. And now here comes Powers taking it coast to coast. She sees Haley Michaels from 3. And that one just misses. Haley Michaels has had a very nice night. A couple finishes at the rim and a 3-pointer earlier in the contest. And Marco Reynolds just devours that ball as McCottrell tried to finish. McCottrell's got it back. What a block from Reynolds. That was exceptional. O'Fallon seems a little shocked. They're kind of slowing it up. Haven't seen the offense this slow here today. Haley Michaels trying to speed it up. And now O'Fallon's double teamed. And 3 seconds in the lane from Quinn Zergel. That'll be Ironman basketball. Those are the kind of plays that can shift a game. You see a huge play from Reynolds and then a great stand on the defensive end from the Ironmen. See if this can convert to offense, and hopefully the Iron can crawl back into this contest. Down 17, not the end of the world.
4 minutes left until the third quarter is over.
Reynolds gets that one to Malinowski. Malinowski's at the corner, gives it into Reynolds. Reynolds is double teamed in the paint. Back to Malinowski, who knocks down the 3. That's our first 3 since the first quarter, and Community is back within 14. The tide is starting to change a little bit for the Ironmen. Powers on McCottrell. And Powers is kind of going between McCottrell and Tart. Tart just lined up a very deep three. That one is air, and it will be Community basketball. And they were just down by 19 just about a minute and a half ago. And now they're down by 14 with the chance to narrow the gap even more.
Yeah, interesting way to defend Tart right there, too. Not exactly playing man, but rather just kind of forcing her to shoot.
Lester shook off Josie Christopher, and to avoid getting blocked, went with her left hand on the right side to make that layup, and it's a 12-point game. Community has caught a bit of a streak here on a 7-0 run. Marco Reynolds went for the block that time, missed the ball, and did foul Quinn Zergel, who's going to the free throw line. A much-needed basket for O'Fallon, who had a big lead and was looking like they were going to blow this game out of the water, and Community kind of just worked their way back into the contest.
Yeah, that's what I want to see more from Community, getting in a rhythm, getting more confidence. I mean, it's just mental stuff at this point.
Zergel misses that free throw. It's a 14-point O'Fallon lead. Raina Powers is going to give that to Malinowski. No hesitation for Malinowski, and we'll call that one a pass to Marco Reynolds. Haley Michaels is going to have a chance at it, and count it. Haley Michaels, have yourself a night. She's got double digits. 49-38 O'Fallon. The Ironmen have cut the deficit from 19 to 11 with 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Foul on the floor as Tart was trying to get through the Community defense. We've seen her do it all night. She doesn't have a insane handles or anything like that, but she has this tenacity, this grit, this hustle, and great handles still where she can kind of maneuver through, give a little crossover, and get into the lane. Powers tipped that one. Tart somehow gets the ball, and Powers is all over her on the defensive end, not letting Tart get any shots. It's going to be a travel as Tart was on the ground rolling around. Community has a chance to make it a single-digit ball game.
Wow, Connor just subbed in for Marco Reynolds right there, immediately ready to dive on the floor to give Community a chance.
And that's what this Community team's all about, helping out each other. And a great steal from McCottrell, who gives it off to the three-point sniper. That one no good from Josie Christopher, and now Powers is going to take it the other way. Now slowing it up. Didn't quite pass half court, so she can give it back to Lester. Now to Malinowski, three-point shot, in and out. That one nearly cut the deficit down to 8. Now Tart is going to take it. One player we haven't talked a whole lot about on the defensive end, McCottrell has the ball, who's who I wanted to talk about. She does throw that one away, but McCottrell has been very solid on defense tonight, forced a lot of turnovers, and she's been in the paint for a lot of the contest, kind of closing up the paint for the Ironmen. That's why it's been so hard to get inside. Amia Lester bringing this one up, calm, cool, and composed. The Ironmen just waiting for their best shot. Lester with Christopher on her, and that one was intended for Connor, just went a little bit over her head. That is a deep pass to Christopher. Turnover for turnover between these two teams that really haven't turned the ball over a whole lot. There's been a lot of defense where they've been trying to force each other to, and in turn they've really forced a lot of tough shots. But not a whole lot of turnovers, especially not like that. Now let's see Community respond to the break there. It's going to be a travel on Lester. Seemed like that one was maybe tipped from her hand, but she skidded a little bit on that floor, which we've seen a couple times tonight.
Yeah, feels like both teams are kind of feeding off of each other's energies. Just the game really speeding up right now.
We're under a minute left in the third quarter. It's 49-38 O'Fallon, a pretty high-scoring high school basketball game. These two teams have played lightning quick, taken a lot of shots, and they've knocked down a lot as well. McCottrell's got Powers on her, trying to force that one in, and Connor was all over that like a wide receiver catching that one. Wow. Now Haley Michaels is going to give it to Connor. Connor a little too strong. That's popped around. And Ironman basketball with 15 seconds left. You know, I think Connor was really excited after that steal, and as she got to the rack, maybe didn't expect to be so open because O'Fallon's been all over that today. Now Marco Reynolds checks into the game Armani Connor did a great job when she was in the contest, forced a steal and was part of another one as well. Great job by Connor in the minutes that she's played tonight. Kind of that hustle. She gives the hustle to this Ironman team off the bench. Haley Michaels has got it with under 10, nearly gets stolen. She's gonna give that to Malinowski. Malinowski with confidence knocks it down. It's an 8-point ball game. Now Tart's gonna take it from half court.
Oh
That
my.
one nearly falls from Tart, and Community closes the quarter on a roll. The score is 49-41 O'Fallon. Community was down by 19, excuse me. They were down by 19 at one point in that quarter, and they have came back, and it is a single-digit 8-point deficit. And once again, we see Normal Community close out the quarter with confidence and a three-pointer that falls. Community is really shooting the rock very well tonight.
Yeah, that was just such a good way to close the quarter. Just a huge rise in defensive intensity, leading to really good offense from the Ironmen. Again, hitting more threes. But I've seen both teams really just heat up in intensity right now.
I think this may be my favorite game so far watching this year, whether the boys or the girls, just my favorite in general from Normal Community basketball. It has been such a solid contest from both these teams. You know, O'Fallon started off cold. They were down by 9 after the first quarter. They had to work their way back into the game. Then Community, down by 19 at one point in that third quarter, worked their way back within 8. And both of these teams just have so much success on the offensive end, and they both play such hard defensive game plan. They both have a hard defensive game plan, and I think what it is just the sharp shooting from both these teams. When the shot is up today, a lot of the time it has fallen down from 3, and we saw it especially in the quarter from Community. In the second quarter, O'Fallon was knocking down the triples.
Yeah, very high-scoring game coming into this final quarter. 49-41, O'Fallon leading.
Now there's some great ball movement from the Panthers, but Community is not letting anything too open as Powers is going to get that steal. She's got Tart trailing a little too much on that layup, and Tart saves it. O'Fallon's going to take it the other way. Missed opportunity there from the Ironmen, but they're right back on defense. Tart with a quick swing to Behringer. Behringer gets that one to Kayla Colmer off of the bench. And now Tart's going to drive on 2 Ironmen, and that's going to be a charge on Tart. Haley Michaels taking the charge, falling right to the ground. Marco Reynolds just had her hands up, and so since Marco Reynolds had her hands up, Tart decided to go over Michaels, but Michaels with her feet set drew the charge. Great hustle play from Michaels. I love what we see from this bench. They come in and give it their all.
Yeah, Michaels had a really big impact in this game. Also, we've seen Community's defense just making a lot more problems for O'Fallon right now.
Great ball handling from Michaels with Christopher Honor. Powers loses that one. It's going to be O'Fallon basketball. The defense is really ranking up for O'Fallon, not trying to let anything open for Community. Tart's going to swing that to Colmer. Colmer's going to swing that to Behringer and back to Tart. Kind of a bit of a triangle there, and are they going to go for the triangle approach again? I think now Community realizes that one's open. We see Camry Fisher was going over to try to stop that pass, and that one's almost a little too much, nearly a turnover. Tart's going to slip, and the three-point shot is good from O'Fallon. A near travel turned into a three-point shot from Kayla Colmer, her second of the evening.
Wow, just Tart making things happen. We've seen her passing ability on full display tonight.
Double dribble called on Normal Community. And Amia Lester is checked into the ball game. Lester checks in for Haley Michaels, who has made an amazing impact. She's had double digits off the bench tonight, multiple steals, just a great game. Seen a bit of, I think the ball was thrown and Christopher wasn't quite ready for that one. Coach had a few more words to say from O'Fallon. That coach is Nick Noloff, who has led this team to a state title, 5 regionals in the last 7 years. There is a cut and finish from Quinn Zergel. The head coach, Nick Nolhoff, has also had led his team to a 187-46 win record, which is 80%. Just one of the top coaches in Illinois, and this is obviously yet another great team. Lester's going to drive, kicks that one to Malinowski, nearly gets stolen, but Community still got it. Down 13, Powers to Fisher. Fisher drives back to Powers. We're seeing a lot of drives from Community, and then they just got to kick it back out as O'Fallon hits with the double team. But now Fisher's open, and she knocks down the 3. We got a 10-point ball game here, and we're seeing Community kind of expose O'Fallon's defense as they drive on the double team, and now they are finding open people. Camry Fisher was left open on that 3, and she drilled it.
Yeah, when you talk about order and poise, this second half has really turned that on for Community. They found their groove. They found what works on the offensive end and especially the defensive end, playing a really organized level of defense. We saw a little bit of like triangle kind of defense right there. Kind of just like trying to get the double team, putting a lot of pressure on O'Fallon, making them make mistakes as well. So Community really turning it up on a new level of focus as this game winds down.
Yeah, we are at 5 minutes and 20 seconds left, a 10-point O'Fallon lead, but don't be deceived by that lead because there has been a lot of three-point shooting. It can change in an instant here. Tart goes coast to coast, draws the foul. She just kind of moved her way around all the Community defenders, maybe zigging and zagging a little bit, getting into the lane, drawing the foul. She's done it all night. Does Tart have, I believe, she has 18 points. This will be for her 19th and 20th. That one knocks down. That's 19 on the night from Tart. That was only 5 seconds on that possession. It was 5:20 on the clock before that, and Tart just took it all the way, coast to coast, and it wasn't even a fast break. You don't see that very often. Tart misses the second one, a rare occurrence, and Community is only down by 11. Zoe Wilde is checked into the ball game, and that one is stolen away from Tart in a deep pass. What a find from Tart, and the finish is just off from Kenna Behringer.
Mia Lester just going down, passes it off to Armani Connor. This game's just a 9-point game now.
And wow, Tart is really trying to force O'Fallon to go fast pace. On the last play, we saw a quarterback-like throw from her, an absolute dot to Kenna Behringer. Now Tart's got it again, and what a find. The cutting Nakia McCottrell was lost in Community defense. I couldn't even see her, but Haley Tart knew where she was and found her right as she became open. What a dime from Tart.
Yeah, and Tart is standing at 5'9". A bigger guard has a lot of vision, so able to really get down into the paint, and also has insane passing skills as we've seen tonight. Maybe, I mean, in a way it kind of reminds me of Chloe Froby, because when I saw Chloe Froby of Lincoln High School, last year state champions, now at Colorado State, getting quite a lot of minutes. But Chloe Froby, a special talent in this state, such a special passer, and that's not something you see all the time in high school basketball. So really cool to see Haley Tart's vision and ability in this game.
And one thing we haven't talked a lot about is this Community team, a lot of the people that are getting a lot of minutes are seniors. And on this O'Fallon team, there is one senior rostered, and the two people we talked about the most, well, really the three, Haley Tart, Nakia McCottrell, Josie Christopher. Christopher and Tart are juniors. McCottrell is a freshman. All the people that get minutes on this squad are juniors or under. So this team will all be returning next season, which is incredible to think about, to see what they will put on display for everybody next season. Lester taking the jumper, and Connor's hustling for that one. What a rebound from Armani Connor, and the Community is going to have another chance. Malinowski with a dart to Wilde. Wilde trying to drive in on the 5'9" Tart. Tart's going to block it, and now on the other end, the Panthers have got it. Double dribble, will give the Ironmen the basketball again. A break for the Iron with 4 minutes left in this game, down 11, but we've talked about the three-point shooting and the way the Iron have gotten quick baskets here tonight. We're going to need some quick baskets to close out the game for the Ironmen to come out on top. Lester finds Powers at the top of the key. Reyna inside, draws the contact, and will go to the line. We almost saw another and one finish from her. Powers has gone to the line quite a bit tonight, and she has 14 points on the contest.
Yeah, one thing Feeney said about Reyna's presence is also just her calm demeanor. I mean, her presence on this team, she's a leader on a little bit of a quieter scale. I mean, you have Marco Reynolds, who's obviously going to be talking on the sidelines. Reyna Powers a little quieter, but kind of chills the whole team, lets them kind of sit in themselves, never gets too high, never too low.
Reyna Powers on that second free throw, just misses. She made the first 15 points for Reyna Powers tonight. It may actually be 17. Those are our unofficial stats. Now Tart gives that one off to McCottrell. McCottrell gives it to the three-point shooter, Josie Christopher. Christopher wants it back. She's going to drive with a nice floater off the back iron. That's bopped around. Reyna Powers gets the jump ball. That is Ironman basketball. O'Fallon nearly got that offensive rebound. I actually think they did pull down the offensive rebound, and Powers just tries to rip it from her, getting the jump ball. This is community basketball, and they have a chance, if they knock down a three, to make it the smallest deficit they've seen since the beginning of the second quarter. Now Lester drives, has an open lane, just misses that one, and it's going to be O'Fallon basketball. I think Lester would wish to have that one back. Seemed like she was almost more open than she expected. She is all over Tart, and now Tart's going to blaze past Michaels. Stops for the jump shot. No good. Malinowski on the rebound. We're at 3 minutes left in the contest. Powers is going to push it. Powers with Tart on her. Spin move. Gets it around. Lester thinks about the three. She's going to take it. Just misses. Tart with the rebound. I'm starting to wonder how many rebounds does Haley Tart have tonight as well. I would love to see the box score after this one, to see the rebounds, assists, and scoring for Tart, as she has 19 points on the contest. She's done a little bit of everything. Tart with Lester on her is going to kick it out to Kayla Calmer, who thought about the three and now brings it back. There's 2:30 left. The Panthers are starting to slow up their approach with this big lead. Behringer gets it to McCottrell. McCottrell almost throws that one away, and that's going to be over and back from O'Fallon. It's going to be community basketball. 2 minutes and 19 seconds left. The coach for O'Fallon on the court, and a little upset with that call. 2 check-ins in the ball game. Quinn Zergel checks in, and right as she runs up to the scoreboard, Marco Reynolds runs up to the scoreboard. Reyna Powers is going to be on the bench. Camry Fisher gives that one to Lester, and Community's going to need a basket here. 2:15 left. Let's see what the Ironmen draw up. Lester gets that to Michaels. Michaels on the spin move. That one is tipped around. It's jump ball, which will be O'Fallon Panthers basketball. Now Powers is back in. Marco Reynolds subs out. I think Marco Reynolds was in there to kind of clog up the paint, open up the three-point opportunities for Normal Community, and now Reyna Powers put back in for her defense. There's a foul on Amia Lester. It's actually exactly what Feeney was doing as Fisher went into the game too, because she's a sharp shooting three. He knows they need some quick scoring to get back into this contest. It's 57-47. We've had a real great game here tonight. Lester hits the ground, but Tart is going to draw the foul on the floor, which is the third foul of the quarter. Is it to the point in the game where you start fouling and leave it up to their free throw shooting abilities?
I mean, we've seen O'Fallon with their key players, Tart and Christopher, both having very good performances from the line. This is the layup there. Now it's Zergel making the layup. 12-point game.
Haley Michaels is going to drive it herself. And she's going to give that one into Ashlyn Wellborn, who checked into the contest. Haley Michaels with the drive. She's got an open lane and just a little too much on the finish there for Michaels. Great speed, and I can't wait to see more of Michaels next year. She is going to be a starter next year, and just what she's done off the bench is exceptional this year. That one bounces off of Raina Power's head, and now it is a battle on the ground. We see another jump ball. I think that might be the 5th jump ball of the night, the 3rd of the quarter. You love that both of these teams just hustle so much, give it their all. And that's why I think I've really loved this contest. You see two teams that are hungry for a win and are really just playing with everything they've got.
Yes, that is so true about this game. I'm just seeing Community still in this game. 12 minutes left.
Well, we got
12. Down 12 with 1 minute left.
I was like, wait a second, we got 12 minutes now? Lester, nice move. And that one a little too strong. But Community's going to try to get that one back, and it just popped right into the hands of Haley Tart. Tart's going to go coast to coast, and what a finish. A bit of a Euro step, finishing with a left hand jelly off of the backboard. Nice finish from Tart. She's up to over 20 points on the contest. It's 61-47 O'Fallon, which doesn't really tell the whole story. It has been a great game in Normal Community and a very close one. There's a 3 from Powers. That one just off. Wellborn's trying to get the rebound. That'll be O'Fallon basketball. As this game is starting to come to a close, it looks like the Panthers will come out on top, up by 14 with 30 seconds left. Fisher, Wilde, and Connor have checked into the game for Powers, Malinowski, and Lester. Lester was key for this defense, trying to hound O'Fallon today, and she did a great job. And then Raina Powers also defensively, it was kind of, that was the big, Lester and Powers were going back and forth, playing a zone, working together, and also Powers was the driver on offense as she is leading the Ironmen in scoring. Christopher out at the three-point line, gives it into Tart. Tart with an acrobatic finish as she really got up there. She has some hops. Now with 10 seconds left on the contest, it's 63-47 O'Fallon. Wilde's going to take the 3, and that one a little short with 3.6 left in the contest, and that's going to close out our game here, 63-47 O'Fallon. And Tart actually throws that one away with 1.1 seconds left in this contest. The Community might get another chance. And Wilde with a deep 3. Oh, that one almost went in from the Normal Community end. And that is the ball game, 63-47 O'Fallon. The first quarter was 17-8 Normal Community. Then O'Fallon jumped out to a 35-27 lead at halftime following a 28-point second quarter that saw Christopher knock down a few threes and Haley Tart controlled the offense. And then the second half was very back and forth as Community ended up going down by 19, then climbed their way back into an 8-point contest going into the fourth quarter that was very back and forth till about the last 3 minutes when O'Fallon closed out the contest, winning this one 63-47. Haley Tart led the way for them as she had over 20 points. What are your thoughts on this contest? How do you think Community played in this one?
Yeah, Tart had 25 tonight. Christopher had 16. So huge performance from O'Fallon's two-headed monster. But Community played with a lot of effort tonight. I think it was a really good effort from them, especially in a game from such an established O'Fallon squad, coming off like essentially 5 straight regional titles, because one was during COVID. So such an established squad, going on to 12-6 now. Those 6 losses, as we've said, so like misleading.
All came to top 10 AP teams.
Yes. So O'Fallon's such a tough squad tonight. what Feeney said was that this game, win or lose, was going to teach them something. They've played around maybe 7 or 8 sectional opponents this season, so they've had a lot of experience with what they're going to face in the playoffs. So each of these games has a meaning as we get into the final stretch of the season, and as they look to kind of make an impact in the postseason, especially with more goals with right now 16-4 as they stand.
And if you look at O'Fallon, right, we talk about how the record's deceiving at 12-6, and I think this is a team that can actually make a run in state, like even make a run to the championship, especially next year, because all these players, every single one of them, is returning next year, as long as there aren't injuries or stuff like that, the things you can't really predict. But if that doesn't happen, this whole team will return with another year under their belt working together. I'm very excited to see what O'Fallon does this year in the playoffs. I think they have the talent when they're on and they're knocking down the threes to win state, and especially next year. And really proud of this community team because they battled through this game down. The most impressive thing, I know I've said it a lot tonight, but when you're down by 19 in high school basketball, that's not like being down by 19 in the NBA. It's a huge deficit, and Community really got back into the contest, back into single digits just in the same quarter. I was really impressed with how they were able to score and score just like that, score in bunches. So really proud of this team tonight.
Yeah, kind of reminded me a little bit of that Alton game at the end of last season where Community did fall in the sectional final, but still a really good effort, a show of the character of this team. O'Fallon just 2 years removed from their state championship in 2022 and 2023 season, where they did beat us in the sectional final that year as well. So there's a lot of history between us and O'Fallon, and as this is kind of an indicator of what could be going on in the playoffs, but still, Community ends this game 16-4 on the season, just their 4th loss, 3rd team that they've lost to, 2nd Panthers team that they've lost to, but still looking forward for this team. We have a good live stream schedule coming up as well. We have Centennial, I believe, next. That will be the senior night for the Ironmen. So kind of some fun as we go into the season more. But that will be all for tonight. Isabella Green, Zach Knox-Doyle, produced by Mr. Brad Bovenkirk. So have a good, what time is it? Have a approaching evening. Have a good approaching evening. And I love you all. Love you all.